Today we'll be making my favorite Indonesian side dish called Gado Gado. Vegetables served with peanut sauce. I'm not a big vegetable eater, but if you serve me a plate of vegetables with peanut sauce over or next to it, I will eat it all up and enjoy every bite of it. Now, between you and me, serve me anything with peanut sauce and I'll eat it up and enjoy every bite of it, because peanut sauce is definitely my favorite sauce to go with anything. We even dip French fries in it back home. Hi, I'm Toine, and welcome to my kitchen. If you're new to this channel, I focus on cooking foods from my home country, the Netherlands, and some of its former colonies, such as Indonesia. Today's dish is Indonesian. It is Gado Gado, vegetables served with peanut sauce. At an Indonesian restaurant, you will often find this part of a rijsttafel, which is an elaborate meal centered around rice with many different fish, meat, and vegetable dishes. Now for me, it doesn't just have to be part of a rijsttafel. You can serve it next to anything, really. The first thing we'll be making is pindasaus, the peanut sauce that goes with Gado Gado. For this, you will need 1.5 cups of peanut butter. Use all natural, no salt or sugar added peanut butter. That way you are in full control of the sweetness and the saltiness of the sauce. 1 cup of coconut milk. Use whole fat coconut milk. Do not use the light milk. The reason for that is that we'll actually be using one of the thicker pieces to fry the bumbu in before we make the sauce. 3 tablespoons of brown sugar, 3 cloves of garlic, 2 teaspoons of sambal, 1 teaspoon of salt, 1 stalk of lemongrass, 4 shallots, 2 inches, 5 centimeters of ginger, and 2 tablespoons of lime juice. Let's slice the shallots. And I have a little food processor standing right here for me to just put it all in. There's no need to dirty another bowl first. You can just put it all straight into the food processor. You do want to peel the dry skin off of the outside before slicing it up. If you cannot find shallots, you can use red onions as well. They have more of a bite and are definitely larger than shallots, so just use one. We're going to slice the garlic as well and add it to the food processor. These don't have to be flinterdun, as they say in Dutch, like they don't have to be very thin. Just cut them in slices so that the food processor has a little easier time grinding it all up, because what we're going to do is we're going to turn this into a paste, a bumbu. I've told you about a bumbu in the rendang video, and I'll post a link to that up there. Next, we are going to peel and slice the ginger. So the recipe says for 2 inches of ginger. That's great if you have a straight piece. I'm going to kind of eyeball it with this. I'm going to say that this is probably, with all the little tentacles on the side, is about 2 inches of ginger. So I'm going to use a spoon to scrape off the skin and then slice it. And again, with the back of a spoon, you can very easily remove the skin of ginger. Now, if you get very young ginger, that skin actually can be consumed, but if it's not young ginger, you do have to remove it. You don't want to put that through the bumbu. I love peeling and cutting and working with ginger because it's so fragrant and I just love the smell. Also, now my fingers no longer smell like garlic, they now smell like ginger. So now that we've cleaned the ginger, I'm just going to slice it and put these chunks in the food processor as well. So this little mini prep food processor is pretty full already, so I'm going to give it a couple of pulses before I add the sambal, sugar, and salt. And this is going to make some noise. So now I have the space to put the rest of the ingredients in, so let's add the sambal, the brown sugar. Now the traditional recipe has palm sugar in it. It's kind of hard to find around here, and brown sugar works just fine. And the salt. Now that everything is in here, we're going to grind it until it is a paste. Every so often, scrape down the sides to make sure everything is in reach of the blades, and it can become a nice smooth paste. The bumbu is all done. You can see the consistency. It is like a thick paste. And we're now going to the stove and we're actually going to fry it. In a large heavy bottom saucepan, we're going to fry up the paste. The first thing you have to do is, because I don't want to add any oil to this, because peanut butter and coconut milk has a good amount of fat in it already. So I'm actually going to fry it in the coconut milk. And oftentimes coconut milk will have kind of this thicker pulp as well as that thinner liquid. So try to take about a tablespoon of the thicker pulp and put it in your pan, and that will be the fat that we're going to use. So with the solid parts of the coconut milk in the pan, over medium-high heat, we're going to melt that. And once it is melted, we are going to fry the bumbu, the spice paste in there. See, as you can see, it's melting pretty quickly. This way we don't have to add any additional oil. So you can see the bubbling. That is some of the coconut milk liquid evaporating, and that's okay. Just swirl it around. When it stops bubbling, the coconut fat is hot enough to fry the bumbu in. Let's add the bumbu. It's very typical in Indonesian cooking to make a spice paste and then frying it to really open up all the flavors of the ingredients, right? All the aromas and whatever essential oils are in there really open up and add more flavor to your dish. For the shallots in this case, it will also mellow out some of the pungent flavors. So just stir this around. You will smell that the aromas will actually get much more prominent when you're frying it up like this. Our bumbu is done frying, so now we're going to add the rest of the ingredients. Our coconut milk, and lower the flame to like medium range. And now the peanut butter. So if you buy natural peanut butter, sometimes there's a big layer of peanut oil on top of it, which is natural. So just mix it all through before you measure it, so that you don't have just the kind of hard solids, but you have the mixture of the oil and the solids. 2 tablespoons of lime juice and my lemongrass stalk. I have bruised it on the cutting board a little bit. That helps the flavor of the lemongrass to really infuse the pinda sauce. So now we're going to mix it all together and let it come to a boil, and then we'll let it simmer for 15 to 20 minutes. If it gets too thick, just add some water. Make sure that you let it simmer. Bring it back to a boil after you add water and let it simmer for at least 5 more minutes. You don't want to add water and then just take it off the stove right away. You want to make sure that you mix it through and let it just kind of cook with the rest of it for at least 5 minutes. Smell that peanut sauce. So good. Now, it's your choice whether you want to use smooth or chunky peanut butter. I have seen it both ways. I personally, for this dish, like it to be smooth peanut butter. For some applications, I want the peanut sauce to have little chunks of peanut in it. But for this particular one, I like it better when it's smooth. It's really up to you. Our sauce is boiling, and I can already tell that it is too thick. So I'm actually going to add some water right now. I'm probably going to add about half a cup. You don't want to add too much water at once. You want it to be pourable, but you don't want it to be as liquid as water or milk. Actually, I'm going to add the other half a cup as well. It's still kind of thick. So now I'm going to bring it back to a boil. Then I'm going to let it simmer for 15 minutes. How thick it is really kind of depends on how large your shallots are in the bumbu. Even your peanut butter plays a role in that. So that's why you may have to adjust with some water. I added a cup of water. I'm going to wait for it to start bubbling, and then I will turn the flame down like that and let it simmer for 15 minutes, stirring it occasionally, and we'll be back when it's done. It is normal when you're cooking the peanut sauce that some of the oil will separate and come to the top of it. A couple of ways to deal with it. One way is to just kind of incorporate it again by stirring it. Just know that that separation will happen again and again. But if you're serving it right away, typically if you just kind of vigorously stir it together, you can get it reincorporated into the sauce and serve it. What I typically do is take most of it off with a spoon. So I just kind of tilt the pan one direction and just let all the oil come onto the spoon and then put it into a bowl. I think there's a little bit more. The next thing that we're going to do is remove all the lemongrass. It may kind of fall apart like this, so if it does, I always kind of scrape off and shake off some of the peanut sauce, put it in that same bowl, and be careful because some of the smaller fibers may have come loose, so you have to really pay attention and make sure that you get all of it. So here's another big piece. Shake off the sauce. It is not going to hurt you if some pieces are in there. You will notice it right away when it's in your mouth, and just take it out and put it on the side of your plate. It's not going to hurt you, but it's just much more pleasant if you can get it all out before you serve it to your guests. And as you can see, everything is fully incorporated. So I'm going to get a spoon and just give it a taste to see if any additional seasoning is necessary. Oh, that's good. All the flavors together have made for a very well-balanced sauce. So this will go great with our vegetables. Now that we've made the sauce, we're going to do the vegetables. There isn't really a hard and fast recipe for what vegetables and how much of each vegetable you want to use. However, things that I've always seen in Gado Gado are shredded cabbage and bean sprouts, typically cucumber as well. Potatoes I've seen, but not as much, but I really like potatoes with that sauce. It's such a great combination. So we're going to be cooking some potatoes also, and then we have some haricots verts here, green beans, string beans, that we like a lot as well. So this is what we are cooking with, but you can really make whatever vegetables you want. The first thing I'm going to cook are the potatoes. These are creamy potatoes, so we don't have to peel them. If you don't have these, you can use regular potatoes, just peel them first. I like to start and cook potatoes in cold water, bring it to a boil, and then just cook them until they are fork tender. You want to add enough water that the water is about an inch above the potatoes. That seems about right. I'm going to add some salt to the water. And now we're going to bring this to a boil. I put the flame on medium and we're going to cover the pot, leaving just a little bit of a crack in there to let the steam go out. Let's test the potatoes. You test them by seeing if you can just insert a fork without much resistance, and that is happening. So I'm going to take the potatoes out. And put them in a bowl. So we topped off the water, and now it's time to just quickly blanch the cabbage. So I'm gonna drop it in here for 2 minutes and then take it out. The 2 minutes is gone, so we're going to take it out, drain it, and put it in a bowl. Next, we are putting the string beans in the water, and these are gonna go in for 4 minutes. 4 minutes is done. So I'm going to take the beans out. And lastly, the bean sprouts are going to go in. They are going in for 30 seconds because you don't want them to lose the crunch, but you do want to just quickly blanch them. So 30 seconds on the clock. That's it, just long enough to warm them up. And now back in the bowl. I've also peeled and seeded a cucumber and cut it into chunks. We're not going to cook it. We're going to put that on the plate with the cooked vegetables and the peanut sauce. Normally this is served on a large platter at the rijsttafel and everyone just scoops up, and typically the sauce is already over it. Sometimes it's on the side. So I put on a plate just a few potatoes, some cabbage, beans, bean sprouts, and my cucumber. I'm going to cover it with the peanut sauce. It doesn't have to swim in the sauce because it's quite a flavorful sauce and you don't want to overpower all the vegetables. Oftentimes it comes with some fried onions sprinkled on the top like that for a little extra crunch. And that is Gado Gado. Let's try a bite, starting with the potato. Eet Smakelijk. Potato is perfectly cooked. The sauce has just great flavor. You can pick up on the ginger. The sambal has added just the right amount of heat. And then that crunchy onion on top. Just fantastic bite. So we're gonna go down the line and try with some cabbage. Love it. It is so good. All right, going for the string bean. The string bean is perfectly al dente, still has crunch to it, but is cooked. Again, the little onions on top and that peanut sauce. It's just a fantastic combination. All right, some bean sprouts. Crunchy, delicious with the sauce. And then last, I'll take a piece of cucumber. The cool cucumber with the warm sauce. And yeah, that fresh cucumber flavor really kind of balances out the sauce. Now, when you get this at an Indonesian restaurant, oftentimes there'll be hard-boiled eggs on the plate, either next or on top of the sauce. And while I ate kind of one at a time, when this is served on a large platter, because everyone is scooping from it, you kind of get a good mixture of everything. But this is absolutely delicious. Quickly blanched vegetables with a delicious peanut sauce. I love it. If you like this video, please click the like and subscribe button, and don't forget to share it with your friends. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. You can get the recipe on my website, toineskitchen.com, and please follow me on social media. Thanks, and I'll see you in the next one. Going for the string bean.